Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of your Frederish podcast. My name's Gary, and I am once again your host for today. How are you doing? How have you been feeling? Tell me everything. How about go grabbing a cup of coffee, soda, drink, beer, whatever it takes for you to relax and join us in this pretty amazing, controversial, and in my opinion, enriching topic. Yes, you've already read the title. We're talking about extraterrestrial life. In other words, life outside of our planet Earth. Well, first of all, let me just state a couple of necessary disclaimers. First of all, everything I'm going to say here is my opinion and is made solemnly and entirely for your English practicing purposes. Okay, so it's at the end of the day nothing but an excuse to speak English with you guys, and of course about something that I consider to be, as I said, a enriching topic. Okay, another disclaimer is that so far humanity, this is no news, but so far humanity hasn't have any alien official contact. So until this very moment, the very moment I'm recording this audio, the existence or not of extraterrestrial life doesn't make any difference. Okay, because A, they exist. Okay, B, they do not exist. Yet Earth is still there. We're still here, until they show up and, we establish a kind of if they will ever show up, of course, if they exist, nothing will change. So whether someone believes or not in an extraterrestrial, in alien existence, I'm going to use the word alien here, okay? Alien, it's the etymology of the word alien goes for outside of a place. Okay, for example, officially using the technical term for someone in Italy, for example, I'm an alien because I'm not from their country, right? From their place. Okay, so that's it. So alien life, whether it exists or not, so far makes no difference at all. Okay. So I don't know if it's a sensitive topic for some of you. I really hope it isn't. That's not the purpose of this topic, of this episode, is to discuss the topic in a neutral way. I'm going to expose a few of my opinions, which are, you guys are about to see, in essence, neutral. Okay, I'm going to get there, but that's what I have to say before we get started. Okay, when I start talking about it, I can't help but think that there are lots of controversies, lots of things not explained, okay? And there is ufology in its best, okay? What do I mean by ufology in its best? A ufologist that is serious, it's very easy, in my opinion, to spot. The moment you see someone saying, stating for sure, in a scientific, I'm not talking about a religious approach. I'm talking about a scientific approach, okay? So every time you see someone with a scientific approach stating for 100% sure that aliens are out there, well, I won't trust this person much, okay? When I see a ufologist going like, hey, we're just checking the evidences, okay? 99% of the evidences out there are related to aliens. We can at least consider the possibility of them being connected with aliens, okay? But the 1% that doesn't make any sense, that's what we're going after. That's what we will stop to study, okay? This is a real ufologist, in my opinion, guys. Tell me if you disagree, but that's it. That's what I'm interested in. When I say I'm interested in this topic, it's about this kind of ufologists. Because every time I saw these guys speaking, I really got moved. I really got psyched about the topic. I really was like, wow, that's a cool topic. You know, people should discuss this more in a respectful way. Of course, I don't know how can anyone even be disrespectful talking about aliens, but you got my point. Without fighting with your brother because he doesn't believe, or the other way around, you believe and he doesn't, or he believes and you don't, you know. But that's it. That's the intro. All right, so when we talk ufology, we basically talk about evidences, not proofs, okay? Although there are people saying that there are proofs, okay? Officially, nothing has been revealed, okay? Which doesn't prove they're wrong, but I wouldn't, you know, say that out publicly without, you know, having the real proofs of alien existence, all right? But the evidences, if I am to be really, really didactical here, I would go back to, in history, we've seen lots of things, some of them really pointing out, like, you know, creatures more evolved than us, amongst us, right? And in some cases, things that we could just, like, see, you know, and go like, hey, there's something off here, something not explained, you know. As an example for the first part here, the first one, in the Bible, if you know you read the Bible, there are a couple of not many, but a couple of one in particular, I think in the I don't remember the book, Ezekiel, I guess, the prophet Ezekiel, in which is related explicitly the encounter with a creature, you know, different, okay? So, okay, some may think, hey, this is a more spiritual thing, maybe it was a spirit, okay, but yeah, it's there, it's written thousands of years ago, okay? It's on the paper, the papyrus to be more specific. And now the second example here are the things that something that doesn't necessarily indicate alien intervention, but you can help but think. The pyramids, you know, okay, physically we're not talking about anything impossible. Okay, there are many ways people had nothing but time in the past, right? So we look at the pyramids and think that they were built in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year. God helps me. But of course, they were probably built in hundreds of years, you know. But even though in terms of architecture, you know, it's really advanced, right? There are multiple ways to see it. There are multiple ways to analyze alien intervention. But I'm just focusing here in, like, guys, you know, landing a flying vehicle, you know, which, by the way, in English we call flying saucer, okay? Saucer is pires, okay, the little plate. So in English you don't say disco voador, we say pires voador. Surprisingly enough, isn't it? So when I talk about alien intervention, I'm specifically considering guys landing in their flying saucers, you know, getting out of the vehicle, of the vessel, you know, and interacting with people directly or close enough just to consider it a physical intervention, right? Well, history is there. There's no proof, of course. There's no there isn't anything we can just go 100%, you know, so that's it, you know. But that's normal. Like, in the past, I mean, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, it was pretty different to get things registered. We didn't have a smartphone everywhere. We didn't have someone with a potential camera or a camera everywhere. So, of course, can you imagine 1,000 years ago? So it would be really surprised if we had any, even if we had an official, in my opinion, even if history had an official encounter and interaction with aliens over the years, inevitably people would start questioning that, you know? Have you ever stopped to think about it? Like, before recording devices existed, how it was like almost impossible to perpetuate extraordinary events in the future. You know, let's say, for example, just an example, guys, let me just make it crystal clear. An example. Let's say, for example, a flying saucer landed downtown. I don't even know if I can say downtown, but downtown Rome, you know, at its apex, when Rome was like, you know, I don't even know what year was that, 100, 200, I don't know. But Rome, you know, historical Rome. Flying saucer landed, some green or gray or greenish or grayish creatures leave the vessel, walk towards Emperor Caesar, you know, go with him inside a private place with the senators, if you will, talk to them, you know, gives a few words of advice, and then just returns to its vessel, to their vessel, if it's a group of aliens, and flies away. Okay, imagine this situation. Okay, I'm absolutely sure this will be registered in history. We would know, you know, it would be a historical fact, but I'm also absolutely sure modern historians, okay, forgive my ignorance if there's a historian listening to this, but I would, and forgive my candid here, you know, my candor here, sorry. But I would bet, if I had to, that you guys would kind of consider, well, this is a myth. That didn't really happen, you know? I don't know. Because how would, like, perpetuate things? Maybe I don't discard, maybe not, but I don't discard the possibility of this event, this hypothetical event, even being forgotten over the years. Because, like, yeah, okay, people who were there would just tell everyone with 100% certainty, well, this happened this way, that way. But inevitably over the years, the relates would be conflicting, would change, okay? The essence would be the same. For example, you know, years later, some people would say that the aliens were gray, and some would say that they were green, and then they were yellow, and they were, you know, that's a normal thing, all right? So what am I trying to say with all this? Like, when we go back in history, it's something interesting to look at, but it's not something definitive to this subject, you know? If I were an alien, I would have, you know, if humanity today starts, you know, being able to travel through, you know, primitive words, I would choose, if I didn't want to be noticed, I would choose primitive words over more evolved words, like Earth, for example, you know? Earth today, of course, we have technology, you know, the same kind of technology I'm using right now to communicate with you guys, all right? So it's interesting, but it's not something definitive either to say yes, we have it happened, we believe it, or the contrary, nothing ever happened, there's no proof, no evidence, anything. All right, okay, let's talk about my personal opinion. Okay, I never had any situation, any experience about it. Okay, I have people in my family saying that they occasionally see weird lights in the sky. Okay, which for years I considered like, well, at least half of them were maybe non-identifying vehicles. But today, studying more, you know, there are atmospherical phenomena, you know, so probably none of them has ever seen anything. Okay, but I heard, me directly, I never seen anything weird in the sky, you know, or even got in contact with any alien creature. Okay, part of me thinks that I wanted to, but my rational part says, I'll say, like, thank God, let's keep it this way, right? We don't know if the guys even exist, and if they exist, how good they are, you know, how friendly, you know, how respectful are they towards our free will, you know? An alien abducts me to their vessel. Okay, so far So good. I mean, like, if they invite and I say yes, but if I say no, will they go like, okay, thanks for your cooperation, bye bye, you know? So let's keep it this way. But it kind of bothers me. Okay, let me just say first that I believe in terrestrial life. Okay, that does not change my life at all. I believe not in the practical way. But I'm gonna be more specific about it. I'm just say I am in the believers team. Okay. But it totally bothers me when we talk about the footage we have, the pictures, videos about flying saucer, containing flying saucers. They're all black and white. They're all, you know, image. The footage is always blurred. You know, it's always, there's nothing HD. Okay. I'm not even saying it is practical to fly with a HD camera all around and get it, but well, like all of them, no exception. We never had any good image with good resolution of, you know, such flying vehicles, flying objects, right? Or even aliens themselves, right? There's the world known, it is world known Virginia case, which is something really strange. Okay, there are relates that really got me thinking, like, hey, something really happened there. And some of them like go like, hey, this is total BS. Forgive my French here. Okay, but who knows for a fact, right? The problem is, like, we never had anything like crystal clear, like, hey, this is a irrefutable proof. Okay, if my theory is correct that they exist, sooner than later there will be more evidences, more real evidence, real and irrefutable evidences. Okay, but if my theory is not correct, we're never gonna have. There will always be like black and white, you know, like things like pictures and footage totally questionable, to say the least. All right. Okay, so let's talk about why do I believe. Okay, well, my believing in the extraterrestrial life, to make a long story short, is based on the fact that the universe is huge. Okay, that's not even a correct way to say that. It's infinite as far as we can tell, you know. Well, we live on an orb, okay, that we call planet, orbiting a giant mass of fire and chemicals and you name it, called the sun. That is, well, what we call in astronomy a star, right? So we live on a planet, orbiting a star, and then we look at the universe, and there's nothing but stars. I mean, like, of course there are more things, but there are like literally millions and billions of stars. Okay, only in our galaxy we're talking about billions of stars. Okay, well, we know for a fact that this star here has got like more than 10 celestial bodies orbiting it. Okay, I'm including Pluto here, not as a planet, but as a body, as a, you know, as something. And others, there are others, you know, celestial bodies, so to say, orbiting a sun other than the 8 official planets. Okay, we know for a fact that life as we know it only exists, as far as we can tell, in our solar system, as far as we can tell, here on Earth. Okay. Well, there are, as I said before, billions of stars out there. Okay, so if we keep the pattern, each one of them will contain like at least 5 planets orbiting them. Okay, so if we do the math, I'm not gonna do the math, but if we do the math, the number of possibilities multiply a lot, and we're only talking about our galaxy, guys. Okay, it is very hard to me to believe that that life doesn't exist elsewhere, only on Earth. You know, if life exists only on Earth, there is something really, really, in my opinion, my understanding, something really, really off, some really not connecting. You know, if life exists only on Earth, let me be more specific. I would start to believe that we're living a simulation, like the Matrix thing. You know, because that doesn't make any sense. Who am I to say, you know, like, because it doesn't make any sense, life out there is real, it exists? No, I'm nobody to say that. But that's what I can help but think of, you know, can help but understand, but projecting in my mind. And about the relates coming from people saying they were abducted, they had a close encounter, as they say, like, you know, they talk or interacted with aliens. I heard thousands of them, read or saw, you know, on TV, thousands of them at least. Most of them really questionable, like, don't convince me. Most of them don't convince me, but some of them are interesting to pay attention to. When I stop considering, like, hey, this might have actually happened. Okay, but I always keep this safe distance. Okay, never going to, hey, because humans are imperfect. We are imperfect. Our memory isn't perfect. Our brain isn't perfect, for Christ's sake. You know, our imagination might project things. Our mind might project things. You know, so that's why I keep a safe distance. Okay, like, not doubting but not believing. You know, when it comes to the stories, the relates involving people who claim to have had any kind of a closer encounter with aliens. All right. Well, that's it for this episode, guys. I just wanted, and I believe I've been successful in provoking the discussion. Please let me know more in the comment section below what you guys think of this topic. Let's keep the respect, of course. I just presented my way of thinking. I'm always open to contrary opinions. Maybe one day I'll change my mind. And again, this does not change your life so far, okay, at all, if they exist or not. Because if they don't exist, yeah, whatever, they don't exist. We're alone. That's it. How bad can that be? How dangerous can that be? If they exist, for some reason, they cannot access our planet, at least not in an official way, or second option, more likely in my opinion, they do not want to for some reason. But if my theory is correct, they will sooner than later, as I said before. But that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for your precious and lovely company. That's all for this episode. I see you in the next one. Bye.